I've been programming computer games for about 6 years now, and one of the first games I ever programmed was Othello. It was one of the first games I ever played, actually. We had Windows 2.1 on our computer when I was growing up, and one of the games available on the system was Othello. They called it Reversi. Othello has some trademarks involved. And so I began my game programming project with Othello, and since then I've expanded to quite a number of games, and I find it helpful to visualize some of these games. So over the years, I've collected quite a few game sets, and I thought I'd make a video to kind of show off. This is my favorite. It's an Othello set that is made in Japan. Othello is very popular in Japan, and it's very seldom you see a game set made in Japan. More and more these days, they're made in China, of course. Even Japanese chess itself, the sets are always made in China. This is a variant of shogi, the smallest variant that still somewhat playable, even though it's been solved by computers. This was, yeah, that's unfortunate, made in China. Although the quality is quite good. Let's take a look at it. So you got a board that's 3x4. The instructions are written in Japanese. And some wooden pieces. A little disappointed about the quality. It's literally a sticker on a wooden piece. You would think that they could probably carve in the pieces just like they do with shogi, but again, it's made in China and a lot cheaper than this. So, I bought this one at the airport actually in Tokyo Narita Airport, and it's quite pricey compared to what you might see here in the United States, although it is made in Japan and the quality is pretty good. Let's take a look at it. So this is how Othello is written in Japanese. I believe that writes Reversi. Reversi and Othello are also written differently in Japanese, if I remember correctly. So the pieces actually lock into the positions on the board, which makes it hard to flip. I wouldn't use this in a tournament where time actually counts, right? It's kind of hard to flip the pieces over. One thing I have thought about, because I love computer game programming so much, is that if I were to make a robotic board, maybe the pieces could be magnets that are arranged north and south, and then there could be a device inside the board that flips the polarity of the magnetic field, so your pieces will jump with it, and I think that's possible, but it'll take some thinking about design. I hope to design that someday and interface that with my computer program. Here are some wooden chess sets that I bought in Poland, actually. This is chess. If I can get it open. This is chess, and in Poland there are actually two checker variants that are quite popular. There's the one that we all know, the British checkers or English checkers, and then there's the international checkers. But 8x8, aside from playing British checkers, there are a bunch of other variants of checkers you can play with the board. One of the games that we played at the Computer Olympiad was called Brazilian checkers, which is played the same way as international checkers, but on an 8x8 board with 12 pieces. And I think it has potential of being solved. British checkers is already solved. It's a draw if both sides play perfectly. There's also the game of Lines of Action, which can be played on a checkers board as well. I'll briefly introduce it here. The pieces start on opposite ends of the board. Blacks on this side and whites on this side. And the goal is to connect all of your pieces together. And the way the pieces move are based on how many pieces are in a given line. Okay. I also have a few chess sets that I found in thrift stores. I go to thrift stores a lot just to look for interesting stuff, antiques, and such. Anyways. Alright, and then there's some boring stuff of bricks and tic-tac-toe. Unfortunately, the box for the tic-tac-toe got damaged while it was moving, and I kind of got rid of it because there was a spill and it was quite disgusting. These are common game sets that you can probably buy at Walmart. I just got them because I want to program them at some point, and it'd be nice to have a set to mess around with while I'm doing that to visualize. This is the Polish version of Scrabble. I'm trying to teach myself to speak Polish because I'd like to go to Poland and meet my future wife, so knowing the language would be helpful. I think at last count I know about 200 words, so I'm getting there. I'm not going to speak it here because my accent is not good and I don't want to be made fun of. Some cards that I've gotten in various places around the world. This is a deck of trick cards that I got while I was waiting at the airport in Amsterdam. It is called the Snavgali deck, and the idea is because, well, first of all, half the deck is the Nine of Hearts. There are like 26 of them, and the Nine of Hearts cards have a different height than the other cards, so it causes, when you have the audience pick a card, it's always going to be Nine of Hearts, and it looks like you can turn the whole deck into Nine of Hearts. Okay. I found this at a thrift store in Taiwan, actually. Eva Air used to give decks of cards, and unfortunately they don't anymore. Well, I guess fortunately, because it allows for cheaper flights, so whatever. Yeah. And this is a more modern deck of cards. I just like the design. I got this at a 7-Eleven in Taiwan. And here's a deck from Warsaw. And a box I got at the airport in Warsaw for cards. If I can get it open. There we go. And these cards are they're made in Israel, and I'm not sure what these figures are about. Anyways, it's always helpful to have game sets to visualize my games, and also to when I make videos discussing various computer programming strategies, it always helps to be able to show the audience what it looks like from a human perspective. Thanks for watching.